what's the appropriate level of response to this sort of an incident for a star NBA player?
I thought we'd be able to talk about all of the winning streak stuff and all of the fun that we've been having here. We just can't do it. Not able to do it in the Queen City. This is more reminiscent of what we're used to. Look, what's the appropriate response? I don't know about all the details. I don't know about all the details coming out with the LaMelo stuff. I do think with LaMelo getting in this crash, he has a reputation for driving pretty recklessly around the city of Charlotte. There is this montage of him running through red lights, and it's not a good look when you have that montage out there before you even have this crash, and then it all comes out. I think, he was probably frustrated because he was asked a question earlier in that press conference about him leaving the scene, and with the intent of that being you left the scene before you were allowed to, which isn't true, by the way. LaMelo was told by police that he was allowed to leave the scene when he did so, and I know there was it wasn't very clear on whether he did that or not. So the appropriate response would be something probably better than that, but this is also a LaMelo response, not to excuse it, but at the same time, LaMelo is always a man of few words, man. Like I wonder if he would have been a little bit more open in a one-on-one rather than asking or answering questions after the game. And I think he was frustrated by like somewhat of a misleading question or a question that didn't have as much information to it when he was asked why he fled the scene. And he said, no, he was allowed to by the cops. So we've gone through this stuff with LaMelo before, and it's unfortunate.
And to that point, we've gone through this with LaMelo before. You mentioned the montage of running red lights. We've seen the video of him peeling out of the Spectrum Center. There's been, on the road and not on the road, some concern about LaMelo's level of maturity. At what point does it go from, thank goodness nobody was injured, it was just an isolated incident, to now this is an organizational concern?
Yeah. So, there are a lot of so the organizational concern part with LaMelo, I think a lot of the stuff with him has been overblown. Anything outside of the bad driving reputation. The bottom line is he can't run red lights. It's dangerous. You can't do it at a particular intersection when he's leaving the arena, where you see a lot of the videos in that montage where if you know that intersection, you actually can't see who's coming the other way until you get a little past the arena. And so if you know about what that intersection is, it makes it even more dangerous. And bottom line is he can't do it. That he's a reckless driver based on what we've seen. And I think outside of that, I think people use that and then they cross this bridge into LaMelo being a bad guy or having a terrible character. Like, bottom line, you've seen even reports come out there. I know Mark Stein had this report a couple of months ago, but they are not worried about LaMelo from an off the court standpoint. I think it's fair to say that he's immature, especially behind the wheel of a vehicle. But outside of that, he is kind of like a fun kid. Like he is fun. He does work hard. People do like coaching him. Steve Clifford, James Borrego, and now even Charles Lee, they've all had glowing things to say about who LaMelo is as a guy. His teammates love him because he's this fun-loving dude. I don't think LaMelo, from a character standpoint, is an organizational concern. The reckless driving has to stop. Maybe actually getting in a car crash actually changes some things here. I'm not sure, but that is 100% true, that something has to change as far as him getting behind the wheel and running red lights and turning left when he's not supposed to and running into oncoming traffic. Yeah, the driving is like a legitimate issue for him, as we've seen from the videos.
Yeah, simple solution here, team. Just give him a driver. Just put a driver on staff that drives LaMelo everywhere. I don't know why athletes don't do that more often. All right, Walker, let's talk about the actual team, though, because we have been, I think, maybe the most pro Hornets national show anywhere. We've been all in on this thing. They were hot coming into the break. Then they come out, they lose to the Rockets. So how concerned are you about the Heat carryover, let's say, from the All-Star break?
No, I'm not concerned at all about what the Hornets, losing last night. I think I am very happy to see what the Hornets are doing right now, from winning those 9 games in a row and then having the Pistons brawl and then bouncing back with such a big victory over the Hawks right before All-Star break. Bad shooting night last night between Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball. I think that's the game, and that's how it goes. But we'll see exactly just how much of an impact that the Musa and Miles absence is going to have on this game tonight on the second night of a back-to-back against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And if they can go 2-2 in this 4-game suspension stretch for their starting front court in Miles and Musa, I think we'll feel pretty good about what the Hornets can do the rest of the way. About 26 games left on the season after last night's loss to the Rockets, but it's all about getting your rhythm back. I think during that break, got a little cold with the Brandon and LaMelo off nights, so hopefully they get back into a rhythm as soon as possible. But I think it's okay to still feel really good about the Charlotte Hornets team going forward.
As you should. I mean, anybody that's been watching this team knows that it's different. Even their lone 2 losses over the last 13 games came down to the wire against 2 teams that I think we all view as championship contenders in the Rockets and the Pistons. But another thing that's different about this year for the Hornets is Melo has been available. He dealt with some injuries early in his career. He's been largely available this season. How has he been able to stay on the court this year?
No, it's a great point, because at the beginning of the year, he was in and out of the lineup just a little bit, and we thought, okay, are we going to go through this thing again? But they avoided the disaster injury, the injury that keeps you out for 4 to 6 weeks with all of the ankle injuries that he's had before. And so I think the way that he's avoided it, one, we even saw in this latest Hornets Real Access clip, it's on their channel on YouTube where they put out a series throughout the season, probably about 3-4 episodes, maybe even 5 when you consider some off-season episodes. But in this last one, there was a clip of him actually taking off the ankle brace, and it looked pretty substantial. And we've had some ankle brace conversations surrounding him before. At first, he said he was going to wear them. And then I remember asking him a couple of years ago, how have they been working for you? And he said, actually, I'm not wearing them anymore. And then he gets injured right after that. So now he actually is consistently wearing the ankle braces. They've been playing with the minutes restriction stuff for him. So they've been monitoring his minutes on back-to-backs. They were playing him about 25 minutes a night on especially those back-to-back scenarios. They even experimented with not starting him. It didn't go very well in that 3-game sample where they didn't start him, and then they wanted to maximize him in the fourth quarter because they weren't going to play him over 25 minutes. So really, I think they've just been disciplined with wearing the ankle braces. That's on LaMelo. I think that they've been creative in their minutes restriction, and they've been disciplined with their minutes restriction, which I don't know if that has been the case before. They have enough talent to where they can ride it out just a little bit. LaMelo is still the guy that holds everything together. I mean, the on-off numbers for him are just absolutely crazy. They are so much of a better basketball team when he's playing for this squad. When he's off, it gets real disorganized. It's real tough to watch. So the fact that they have been disciplined with him, that they have just enough talent to ride out some of his absences compared to the last couple of years where they just were losing every single game if he didn't play. I think all of that kind of shows you when you put it all together that the Hornets are a good basketball team. He's healthy. He's playing well. And I'm glad that they found something to keep him out there on the court as long as they have.
All right, so we have a first on our show. This is history. We've never had this before. It's a first. We have a viewer question on video for you, Walker. And who knew that this could happen?
I'm honored.
So we're going to take a look at this. Let's see what we've got from a viewer that wants to ask you a question.
Hi there, YSD. First-time caller, long-time listener. My name is Doug. I am the co-host of the Locked On Hornets podcast with Walker Mehl, and I have a question for Walker. We have a segment on our show called Stang'in or clang'n. It's our version, that's our down south version of hot or not. So I would like to know from Walker, Stang'in or clang'n the Hornets' alternate uniforms this season?
I like this question. Man, this guy doesn't leave me alone, by the way. Like, I've seen this guy before, and it's a little weird, a little creepy, a little bit of a stalker, but I'll accept the question nonetheless. Look, I think with the alternate uniforms, I like them. It's a bird of paradise play because of a story that matters to the city. And so I kind of like the interconnecting with the roots of the Queen City within the jersey. I'm a fan of it. I don't know if a lot of people are, but to me, when you go with different jerseys and you go with the alternate city edition, whatever edition jersey, I mean, there's about 5,000 jerseys for every franchise now. I'm a fan of experimenting. Let's get loud. This is what you're supposed to do. Let's break away from the norm. And so I like the bright orange, the bright yellow. I say it's Stang'in to the stalker question that we got from Doug Branson. I'm with it, man. I'm okay with the jerseys.
He's always here.
I know.
Like, nice
he stalks you too.
Man,
you guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. appears around the corner, and then you're like, "There's Doug."
Like always.
There's Doug.
No. We love Doug here on the show.
He's behind you right now, by the way. I can see him.
Yeah,
He's
100%.
right. He's in this room. Yeah.
You never know. You just hear him breathing. That's like we can always hear Doug breathing. That's fact.
I will say this. I'm with you. I think they're Stang'in, but I just recently moved to Charlotte about 6-7 months ago. And I've been to 3 Hornets games. Thank you. 3 Hornets games since moving here. They have worn the alternate uniforms every single game that I have gone to. And I don't know if that's just a weird coincidence or if they wear them far too often, but I need some teal and purple in my life, Walker.
No, it's a good point. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up because it does feel like they've been wearing the jerseys a lot. And in fact, because of a couple, yeah, they do. And because of a couple of the snow games that they have, they even had one game where the court was the city edition court. So the color scheme was just like you see it on the jerseys, but they were wearing their usual jerseys. So we have even gotten the color scheme even more so than usual. But I'm with you. Like I wish they would just sprinkle it in, maybe not play with these jerseys on nearly as much, because I like the jerseys that we have right now. The white, we still got the teal pinstripes here. Not as much purple, need more purple in my life. I'm with you on that. But overall, it's hard to mess with the Hornets aesthetic, man. I mean, it's a classic for a reason.
One of the guys that's absolutely rocking that jersey this year is Kon Knueppel. I'd be lying if I said I saw this coming. Giannis said one of the smartest rookies he's ever seen. How's he managed to do this?
I don't know. It's unreal. Like what? Look, we've talked about it a lot. The fact that he is on pace to be the most efficient rookie ever of all time, it is absolutely nuts watching him do what he does. And I've said this a million times too. I mean, this is the nerd goal that I want to reach with him this year. But the fact that he could be the first rookie of all time to reach the 50-40-90 club, 50% from the field, 40 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. Like 9 other guys have done that in NBA history, and a couple of them have done it multiple times, but only 9, period. And now Kon might be the first rookie ever to do it. It's absolutely insane. So he's been able to do it for a couple of reasons, in my opinion. One, I think he just is a basketball robot from an emotion standpoint. I've called him emotionally unavailable a million different times, and it works for him out there on the court. So nothing seems to faze him. I think you saw it in the Hornets-Pistons game. After his first NBA brawl, he had to grow up, and then in the fourth quarter, knocks down huge threes with Musa and Miles out. LaMelo was in foul trouble, and Kon, just stone cold Kon, hits a couple threes. So, I mean, nothing seems to faze him. I do think the fact that you have talented players around him opens some things up for him, and it's the type of talented players that they have around him. LaMelo has gravity. You got to pay attention to him out there on the perimeter. Same thing with Brandon Miller. Have to pay attention to him. I think Charles Lee has done a great job of using him as much as any coach uses any guard on screens. And so they've unlocked this fun, he'll screen for LaMelo and then springboard off of the defender who is opposite LaMelo into the opposite direction. And he uses his basketball IQ to create so much separation despite not having all that much athleticism. But there's like 5 feet of separation from him on some of these shots. And if you close out on him effectively, shot fake, dribble, bang, 3-point made, 43% from 3 this year. Off of the dribble, he's been fantastic too. Look, we liked Kon as the pick. I mean, we were fans of it, but I don't think anybody saw this yet. Jeff Peterson, last night on the broadcast, the executive vice president of basketball operations, he chose Kon. He said on the broadcast, I'd be lying if I saw this coming right away. He's been incredible.